If you're a graduate student or maybe you're a career academic, maybe you struggle with motivation. Because if you're writing a dissertation, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And the reality is all of that excitement you had in the early days is going to dissipate. It's just inevitable. And there will be times that you just don't want to do any work. And so what I'm going to share with you today is a tried and true strategy that I've used, that my clients have used to move from action to motivation, not waiting for the motivation to hit, because oftentimes that's just not going to happen on a daily basis. So we'll talk about the 15-minute rule, and then I'm going to share a really helpful strategy called task batching that I've been using for years and that my clients used. And it's really helpful for making as much progress as you can based on the time available to you that day and the energy that you're bringing to the table. All right, let's start with the 15-minute rule. The whole idea behind the 15-minute rule is that you don't wait for the motivation to strike. Instead, you take action. What we know from human psychology is that motivation comes from action, not vice versa. And the 15-minute rule is nice because we can all do anything for 15 minutes. You're sort of tricking your brain into doing a micro task, and then you see how you're feeling at the end of that and extend that session. And usually I find that myself and others, once they get through those 15 minutes, it's a lot easier to make the additional commitment of continuing on with whatever it is they're working on. Okay, so that's just the basic 15-minute rule. We've gotten that out of the way. We can all commit to 15 minutes. Go ahead and just add a 15-minute hold to your calendar at whatever time of day you work best. Some of us are night owls. I'm a morning person. And then just set aside some additional time after that in case, the mood strikes and you want to continue the work, which I can guarantee that that is going to happen more often if you also implement this next strategy, which is called task batching. I don't remember where I learned about task batching, but when I did, it completely changed how I approach my work on a day-to-day basis. Let me just first explain what task batching is. It is grouping tasks together, similar types of tasks, and then I kind of added this on my own, associating those tasks with whatever you're able to bring to the table, the sort of energy and cognitive lift you're capable of for completing those tasks. So, for instance, similar tasks that group together would be maybe searching for literature, searching for articles, downloading them, and then adding them to a folder. That is a very different task from reading and analyzing the articles, which is also very different from writing. These different tasks, which are very much a part of our academic workflow when you're a researcher, require a different mental or cognitive lift. For instance, it's really demanding to read multiple articles, look for patterns, and synthesize. Like that takes a lot of brain power to do those things. And sometimes I'm just not capable of doing that type of work on in a given day. Even if I thought I would be and that was my plan, I'm not going to grit through that because it's just going to be very painful. And then you're going to start associating this work with dread, and we don't want that. Instead, think of a different task or a group of tasks that are more sort of better aligned with what you're capable of in the moment. So if you've had a lot of sleep and you're feeling great and you have a lot of energy, then you can tackle those difficult tasks. But if you're just not feeling it, then think of other tasks that are on your to-do list that aren't going to require as much mental effort, like formatting your reference list. That's a bit more mindless. Or just searching for articles and saving them in a folder. That's a bit more mindless. It doesn't take a ton of thinking in order to do that. Or if you're working on your results, analyzing the data and interpreting it is a lot more challenging than actually just building out tables or preparing an outline. Okay, just to do a quick recap, the 15-minute rule is really helpful for moving from action to motivation and not waiting for that motivation to strike. Usually, you're ready to get some work done by the end of those 15 minutes. So just set a timer, set a recurring calendar reminder to do this every day. One tiny step forward is a step forward. And then group similar tasks together so you're not switching between tasks constantly. That's really draining on your brain. And then match those similar tasks to your sort of energy or the brain power that you're bringing to the table that day. Like, don't force yourself to do incredibly challenging tasks that require a lot of brain power if you didn't get good sleep the night before. So this is going to help you be more productive and also hopefully like not dread parts of this process so much because you're going to be listening to yourself and being a bit more strategic about your approach to this work. All right, please subscribe to this channel if you want more tips and strategies like this. I'm Jessica Parker. I'm the owner of the Dissertation Coach, and I've been an academic coach for the past decade, and I've worked with over 1,000 students across multiple disciplines, and so I'm sharing strategies that work.